We are now live. Hello YouTube and welcome to the inaugural fun race event here in URL. For the first time we see 8 drivers attempting to race around the Monaco circuit for the first time against each other. This is the first time we'll see these drivers race each other at the circuit. Yeah, that's all I can really say. First time anyone is going to get some proper running here today. We've got the qualifiers now, and as we can see, people already coming out to the circuit. Please do bear with us, as they will take a moment for everyone to get the timer, as one of our drivers has already disconnected. It will take a mere second to try and load everyone, given the fact not everyone will immediately show on the screen. You know what, we'll just grab goggles and we'll put it back to the 8 people showing here today. Anyway, here we have everyone, Mr. Quinn, making his debut on the field today, along with a few other people, including some wildcard members who've just joined today. Anyone knows how this 30-minute qualifying session can go. Therefore, anything's on the tables as we see Gaggles spin. So, we'll keep watching him for the first part of this lap here. Through the swimming pool we go. Love that shot there. Classic shot. Really is. He should give himself a gap to Quinn, or Quinn lets him through. As we see the first lap times in, it's a 1:32. That will definitely be beaten soon. And by that I mean very soon, because I've seen these people drive before. Gagley here is going to make his lap just absolutely extraordinarily fast. He had the fastest time in the practice. Everyone on the super soft tyre, so we'll be able to see what they can do. As the man with the provisional fastest time has teleported to the pit lane, I think he's had an issue. Slight wobble there for Gagley, but we'll watch him here ride on board with the driver. Well, there's no real good onboard cameras, unfortunately, for this car. But through the tunnel we go, on board with Virtual Mirror forced on at the top. VRC mod this one, so we do get a very nice luxury. Chicken setting a really off the pace lap time. Gagley almost into the wall there. Please do ignore the smoke, that's just there for show, not anything of major issues. But through the final chicane into the wall at the swimming pool there, as currently the man who's been dominating Formula E has gone fastest. Can the man second in the Formula E Championship go even faster than that? Across the line he goes. Second fastest. 3 seconds off at the moment. But as we can see, Quinn crosses the line. It goes second fastest. A second faster than Gagley. What can Chicken do? Through the tunnel he goes. What a speed from the Brits. Comes through the Nouvelle chicane that isn't very new, with a car behind him. I believe that is one of our newer members, but all will be revealed eventually. Chicken through the swimming pool chicane, the tighter of the two, manages not to rub the wall. Danbo goes second fastest in the session, so hopefully the Bulgarian will be able to pull something out of the bag later today. As Chicken to the line goes. Only 5th on that lap, so who knows what he could try and muster up in this session. There are 2 different types of car that they are using today. One set a Williams, the other set a Ferrari. And I believe the only Williams in this session is this one. Oh, sorry, McLaren I should say. They're running a Williams-based livery, hence my confusion. We watch the driver lock up. Gagley goes second fastest, still 2 seconds off at the moment. Hopefully those times will slowly collapse and slowly get closer and closer and closer. But we'll see. Anything can happen, and anything does tend to happen around the streets of Monte Carlo here today. As we see them hit the wall quite badly. Chicken gets through. Not what you want to do on a hot lap. Really not what you want to do. We've already got some close racing in qualifying, so... The two drivers fighting, and he's into the wall, and the man behind's trying to get a lap in. Through Larascas. Still fighting. Oh, unfortunately, they're going to be in the wall, and that's going to be an aborted lap for the pole. I believe we've got a pole there. As Quinn takes it to the pit lane. Still goes faster despite that. Pedro is going to keep out the way. Turns out that was Pedro. Did not notice. But anyway, through we go for the pole of Mech. So I'm going to dub because I'm not going to pronounce his name because I will probably butcher it. But Mech through the first sector of the lap pretty cleanly so far, if I do say so myself. Through the hairpin, the Lowe's hairpin, the famous hairpin of Monaco. Then down towards Portier before the tunnel. Of course, the next sector split past the final chicane, past the Nouvelle chicane. So we'll be able to see if anything can be pulled off in this session here. Through he goes, through the Nouvelle chicane. We've got Tabat, one of the fastest corners on the track. Through swimming pool 1 into swimming pool 2. Ridiculous speed through there for the 4 back driver. Just nudges the wall on exit there. But through Larascas he comes into Anthony Noge. Will this be a good lap time? Unfortunately, we're unable to tell by our timing charts, but he'll come across the line. This would be a definite improvement. He goes 4th. And hits the wall in turn 1 to mark that 4th fastest lap. Here we see James Quinn on an out lap. So perhaps we will see him make a sensational charge for the fastest time. So here he goes across the start finish line. He's got a car ahead coming out the pit lane who does keep well out of the way. Everyone keeping well out of the way of him, as I'm starting to get my words all fumbled up. Through Casino Square he goes now, and it's definitely looking clean. Over the bump where the railway line now sits, he's got a slight wobble on the rear as he goes over the sector line. Into the Lowe's hairpin there. Another slide on the rear. I think he's just locking the axle enough to get that rotation perfect. In towards the tunnel now. One of the fastest parts of the track. Through the tunnel he goes. The stagnant camera showing it beautifully. Really is a beautiful track, this one. Into the Nouvelle chicane he goes. Taking just enough curb. Really close on the exit of the barriers there. Through Tabat. Very close there. Through the swimming pool. Through swimming pool 2. That's going to be close if it's not invalidated. And I think it is, because by the sound of that, he has backed off. He may not have. He may continue just to get a secondary lap in. But by my calculations, that could have been a cut. And if it is, then that is a huge shame. Of course, the line doesn't improve. Yeah, I was right. He did corner cut. So, we are almost 10 minutes done with this qualifying session. And in those 10 minutes, we've had a bit of battling. Already a few moments, a few touches with the wall. And here we see James getting crowded out by Pedro. So there is contact. Pedro hits him again, and Pedro is into the wall. Very reminiscent of Jenson Button right there. And his incident with Pascal Wehrlein. So, who knows what can happen. Pedro there having a massive lockup, and it does find the wall again. So he is having the best session as there is. I don't know who that was going through the swimming pool. It may have been Joslovic, who I think is Luca, so we'll call them Lukla. so I don't butcher their surname. But he's already had a bit of a shocker there, having a moment of smoke through the swimming pool. Not the swimming pool. Forget it. I've already fumbled it too much. He's off to start hot lap here. Bit of a look up through turn 1. Not really what you want to do. His teammate up ahead, Mr. Quinn, who I maybe also want to push lap. He may have to get out the way though if he isn't. Of course, again, pseudo teammates for this event, as teams don't fully exist, as we see James hit the wall to get out of the way and teleport to the pit lane. Pretty respectable thing to do as we go through the first timing sector, or first of many timing sectors, the first full timing sector. Bit wider on the exit of the hairpin than he would have wanted, but so far I believe he's having a really enjoyable lap. Through the tunnel we go now. Before we get to Nouvelle Chicane, there's a few cars ahead of him. He may catch one of them by the very end of the race, but by the very end of the lap. But for now, he has a lot of clear air ahead of him. He'd be absolutely enjoying it right now, but who knows what could happen in the next couple of corners. Anyway, through La Rascasse we go. A bit of a lock-up, not really what you want to do, but it gets the rotation done. Into Anthony Nose for the end of this lap here. Will he be able to improve from that P6 position across the line? He does improve the lap, doesn't improve his position. And locks up into turn 1 for good measure. Here we watch the provisional pole sitter, Asbeck, already dominating the Formula E season. He's been on pole every race so far. He's won 2, just losing out the last round, but he's had an 100% podium rate this season. And because of that, him and Gaggles, who is 3rd in this session, are currently on for GOAT status in this league. So these two have been dueling it out for a while, both on the track in this league, and I assume in some form of funny little BeamNG racing, because they both have the game. I don't know what they do in their spare time. Anyway, 18 to go, which means we've done 12 minutes of the session, and it's been a thrilling 12 minutes so far. Hopefully this race will be a bit more eventful than the Monaco race, as we see Asbeck just clatter the wall there in La Rascasse. Anyway, Asbeck to start another push lap. Across the line he goes. Will this be an improvement from that 1:14.9? Maybe. Slight slide on the rear through turn 1. Not really what you want to do. Up the hill through turn 2 and through into turn 3 here. Different line to a lot of other people, cutting it a lot closer. Into 4 through Casino. Beautiful shot there. Missing that huge bump. Into turn 5 before a tricky turn 6 as we see Dambo just slightly improve his lap time. 2 tenths behind Asbeck now. Into 7 and 8. Onto the straight just before turn 9. A very fast and blind right-hander on the longest part of the circuit to get the highest speed. Then into 10, 11 and 12. There's 10, there's 11, and there's the kink back of 12. And run down towards turn 13 here, very fast. 14, 15, come at you like nothing. Into 16, where you want to start concentrating to brake. 17, hits you like a wall. Then you've got turn 18 into 19 here. There's turn 18, taken as one. And there is turn 19 to conclude the lap of Monaco. And then through the not-so-straight main straight to the line. Is it an improvement? Yes, it is, by 4-ish tenths of a second. Asbeck could take an 100% pole record in the fun races if he gets it here. So we just sit here, enjoy the beautiful sounds of Monaco while I take a drink, because I really do need it for my throat's sake. As we come back to James Quinn, of course the stands empty here due to the fact all the fans have gone home from the Monaco Grand Prix, and no one's here apart from me in one of those commentary booths. Joking, I'm in a bar. Here we've got Quinn coming across the line, either to start or finish the lap, as we see Gaggles taking a bit of air. Quinn crosses the line, goes third fastest there. 4/10 behind Danbo, so who knows what he'll be able to pull off in the remainder of this session. Because he's fast, Mr. Quinn. He has been fast on F1 24 and associated other leagues, but who knows what he can pull off in Assetto here, so through the hairpin he goes, really trying to enjoy this fun race. Everyone is roughly spread out pretty equally here, so everyone does have clean air, which is brilliant for them. As we see a man really struggling here is Chicken. Through the swimming pool he goes. Will he be able to improve this lap time? That is the question. A bit of a lock up through the chicane and almost into the wall he goes. Managing to keep it out, and he does collide with the wall there through the Rascasse. Into Anthony Nose. This is going to be an abysmal lap from him, as Quinn just makes it through after going third fastest. So through turn 1 he goes. I think this is now going to be an attempted hot lap, as we hear a moment in the background from someone. I believe there's a yellow flag out in the middle sector for Pedro, who is stopped. He's back going again, so there was a yellow. Unsure as to why. Chicken getting a lot of support in the chat from one of the users from a different league here. So hopefully that will be a bit more enthusiasm for him to get a lap together here. Quinn coming up behind. If I were Quinn, I'd just sit behind him, enjoy a bit of cool down lap after going pretty fast, going up into third. Chicken through the tunnel in to the Nouvelle chicane here, just getting it all locked up. And he chooses to back off to let Quinn through, which I think was the right idea. Nice of him to do that, didn't need to. Quinn now across the swimming pool chicane and makes a slight mistake and brushes the wall. As we see Aspec, the session leader, rejoining. Quinn takes to the pit lane, Chicken takes to the pit lane, Pedro continuing on in the session, making contact with the wall. Chicken disconnecting, he'll be back. I'm sure of it. There he is. But we see Pedro here, currently the slowest man on the track by quite a few seconds here. So through the chicane we go with the Portuguese driver. Got quite a decent show out for the European drivers in this league. Of course, these are VRC mods, as we see Pedro whacking the barrier there and whacking it more through La Rascasse and into the final corner of Anthony Noge. Really hitting the wall there, so unfortunate for him. Does improve his time. He hits the wall massively in turn 1. Damage, of course, being removed for the Monaco weekend entirely. This just being the support race, if you will, for the Formula E tomorrow at the same time start as this stream did today. Albeit maybe a bit earlier, but yeah. This marking the halfway point in this season, round 4 of 7. This being a support race for it, just so we can get a few more views, get a few members in, Hopefully a few more title protagonists for the next season, which will be extended to 10 races. And of course, Brands Hatch being the opening round of the season will make it oh so precious to have. Last round, the first round of the season we had here, was a brilliant race at Brands. We see Pedro cutting the chicane entirely. 6 people initially showing up, and now we've got people showing up to all sorts of the events. As we see Pedro almost coming to a full stop with a spin there, so really unfortunate for now. As I've just been pinged to notify everyone, has to start on the hardest compound of tyre. to stop pit stops from happening and giving anyone a disadvantage. So everyone's on the hardest pit stops on a full tank of fuel till the end of the race. If anyone isn't on the hards, then I'm sure they'll be given a penalty. But yeah. No stopper race, please, everyone. No stopper race. This is due to there being a bug in the pit lane, which makes it so, yeah. Just be advised, do not pit in the race. There's a bug with the pit lane. That's all. Just go for the hardest tyres. They should last the longest. So we see Pedro cutting the chicane and hitting the wall quite badly there. Nine minutes left of the session. So the first 20 minutes done here today. We have a car sliding into the wall. That was Chicken into the wall at turn 1. Quite unfortunate there, but he's not the only one making huge mistakes. We see Pedro hitting the wall as well. So, as Pedro slides well off the track into the wall, creating a yellow there. I'm sure that will impede one or two people, but he'll try his best to keep out the way, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll see. Can Chicken improve on one of his laps soon? As he does the Verstappen line through the chicane. Completely missing it. Anyway, through the swimming pool we go. I'm sure the first lap will be very spicy with that part of the track and how close everyone is to each other to start the race. Who knows, we could see a huge crash in turn 1 to activate our pseudo safety car. So we'll have a virtual safety car, which will be everyone slowing to the same pace, being gear 2 or gear 3. Probably gear 3 in these cars, pardon me. And we'll have safety cars, which will be gear 2, where the leader will slow down to that speed and everyone will catch up to them and we'll restart like that. Virtual safety cars are for, say, someone spinning on the track and making it partially blocked. Safety cars will be for incidents with 3 or more cars being stopped at once. So if there are 2 or more, I should say. So if there are 2 cars that are fully stopped on track or pointing the wrong way, then that will be a safety car. And that will mean the race leader has to slow down, collect everyone up, and then we go again as per. Anyway, as we can see, the field separates by 8 seconds. If we removed Pedro, it would be a 5-second split, then a 3-second split, then a 2, and then everyone's separated by over a second. So, just because you're the slowest, you're the slowest. Everyone knows. You can't cover it. 6 minutes to go. We are still watching Chicken. A bit close there between the 2 same coloured cars. Into the first corner, I think he's just had to back out due to cars coming out the pit lane. Chicken lets him through. Who knows what the team tactics are as we watch Mech coming up through Casino. He goes. I assume he's on a push lap. He's got people he needs to try and get through on, and through the hairpin you can't really do it, so... Oh, and there's a pile-up. Danbo spun at the hairpin, and that's an aborted hot lap. What has happened there? That is a real shame. Danbo's still pointing backwards. No idea how he's got himself in this position. But if he pulls it here, then he can get back going. Real unfortunate mistake for him as Quinn finally gets through on him. But we see Mech trying to improve. 2 cars behind him. We've already got a bit of a race so far. With these guys all so close to each other. Aspect doing the correct thing, building himself a gap to those in front. We can start his more recent push lap. I don't believe it will be his final one, but he could sit in the pit lane because he's got nearly a second gap to Danbo. No improvement for Mech as of this lap, but could Chicken do anything? Can Mech do anything? Can anyone do anything to try and dethrone Aspect in the last 5 minutes of this session as he hits the wall? Mech hitting the wall twice. Confirmation on your screen, 5 minutes to go of the classic Monaco race. We could go even more classic as Chicken has a drift through the hairpin and pulls it off successfully. I think that's what Danbo did on the previous lap, which cost the car we're watching a hot lap. So who knows? We do have Pedro slow at turn 8, to bat there, and he's round again. He needs to get out the way. That was very close. He is in a really bad position there. One of the fastest parts of the track. My word, you don't want to lose it there. As Chicken hits the wall through the Rascas. What can Mech do across the line? All things being well, it's a still valid lap. Doesn't improve. Will Chicken improve? No, he does, but not his position. Aspect to the line doesn't improve yet. Here we do have Pedro after causing a big issue. We'll see what he can try and pull. And it turns out the barrier now goes in a meter more. So Pedro just trying to improve that 122. The top group now separated by 3 seconds. I think that is 4, thereabout. But yeah, pretty close top split. Without Pedro, of course, but you know, could have a blazing start, could have a really decent race pace. We don't know. These cars are more of a token or mystery rather than, you know, given. You know, we don't know definites. As Chicken is in the runoff of the chicane. He's teleported back to the pit lane. I don't know what that happened there. If I were Aspect, I would just sit in the pit lane till the end because it seemed quite clear as... I think that was Quinn. No, it wasn't. It was someone having a moment there. But anyway, Pedro, way too much speed through the Rascas. If he doesn't buck his ideas up, this could be one of his last laps. So we'll watch him, what he's able to try and do on this lap here before the end of the session, which, if I'm not mistaken, will be an Aspect pole. And I mean, you'd probably be smart to have a bit of money on Aspect pulling a pole in this fun race. So, as you see a spin in the background from Danbo, as Gaggles goes ahead of Quinn, and Quinn goes ahead of Gaggles. Wow, those two really are pushing each other on. We're going to leave Pedro there because Aspect, we believe, is going to start one of his last push laps. Mech pits. If you're at the front, statistically, you're going to make it through cleanly. Unless you're Alex Dunn in Formula 2, where he loses pole. Anyway, here we go. He has just over a minute to set one lap, maybe two, if he's lucky. But who knows what could happen here in this event. Chicken also needs to try and find a lap as we see Mech hit the wall in the background. Yeah, Aspect so far set to take a pole, and he's backed off. He's let Mech through, so maybe this is a strategy from Aspect to get a clean final push. As Quinn is disconnected, I'm sure he'll join back with quick pace as he does. He is out the session, Quinn, so Quinn will not be able to get round again to set another lap. So at best, he will be starting P3. Aspect slows right down. He's got 30 seconds before he can need to, you know, do a lap. Pedro in the pits as well. I believe he's done for the session. Aspect will come across, but Chicken is probably going to be the first man to take the flag. Danbo pits, so he's going to be starting a best of second. Chicken isn't going to make the flag, so he's going to take it. Will he be able to improve ahead of anybody? No, he won't. So Chicken starts 7th. The next across the line will be Gaggles. So we're going to watch Gaggles here. Through the swimming pool 1 he goes, into swimming pool 2. Sessions run on to overtime. He's going to try and take the flag here to possibly improve his position. He's got a slight lock up there. And he's backed off. He's going to take the flag. He's not going to improve. Here we have Luca. I assume this is Luca. To the line he goes. Doesn't improve. Will anyone be able to improve? Here we've got Aspect, who is the last man, I believe, on a real push lap here. Well, to the line he goes. He does improve again. So he's now on pole by over a second. I'm sure he'll just pull off and teleport to the pit lane. So, the minute begins. Everybody please use the hard tyres and fill your car with fuel. This is non-negotiable. We want you to finish. Hards and max fuel, please, everyone. This is mandated so you can finish the race. Because pitting will mess you up. Trust me, messing up can throw you off. News on why Danbo didn't improve. He was on a lap and ran out of fuel. But we see almost a second split between P1 and 2, and the field separated by 8 seconds, ignoring Pedro being 3.6. So, anyway, the drivers are on the grid for the inaugural fun race. We've got another minute wait here just so everyone can, you know, figure out where they are, how they want to be. I can't go to the pit lane just yet, so we'll have to wait till the event starts before that can happen, but I can hear people revving already. Don't want to do that, you're going to burn through fuel, and then if you burn through fuel, then you ain't going to have any fuel to the end of the race. So anyway, it is 6 lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are green in Monaco for the first time. It's a decent start from the pole sitter, and it's a decent start from, and there's a huge pile up. There is going to be a safety car off the start, as we see 3 cars off. Danbo involved, Chicken involved, Luca possibly involved as well. I believe it's Luca. Safety car is out. Race leader, please slow down to second gear. No overtaking. My word, that is not what you want to happen on the race start. But it is what it is. The entire field trying to get cleanly through there, and on the start immediately we have a pile-up. So the pseudo safety car will be in at the end of the lap. This is just so everyone can regroup. Quinn already behind our race leader and Formula E championship leader in this race. The safety car on lap 1 everyone should be able to preserve a bit of fuel, as I believe we've had a moment in the tunnel and Chicken is backwards in the tunnel, so there has been contact in the tunnel. Chicken really stuck there. Everyone needs to try and catch up to Aspect, who's really going a slow pace so everyone can catch. We've got Chicken going through the Nouvelle chicane now. So I think by the time the safety car starts, he will be here. But he's holding it for as long as he can. Chicken now through the swimming pool. So he's going to take it through Larascas here. Chicken getting back in his position. So Aspect can go anytime from here. He knows this fact. And he goes early through Anthony Noge for the first time as Pedro finds the wall on the restart. He's back going, so hopefully we'll be good. But into turn one already. Oh, Quinn hits Aspect. Everyone on cold tires there. There's another safety car as we see 4 cars in the wall at turn one nearly. We'll call it another safety car, unfortunately. This time when everyone's regrouped, we should be able to set it off earlier than before. Because I feel everyone having cold tires into turn one is an awful idea after seeing that little kerfuffle. So everyone is regrouped. So as of now, Aspect can choose when to go. He can slow everyone back up if he chooses, but he chooses to go here on the fun race. Of course, this being a little test for the main race. He's gone through the tunnel, leaving parts of the pack behind him. Further back, we're trying to go side by side into the braking zone of the chicane. They've got a spin and people bailing out. Smart thing to do for Mech, who is round. That will not conserve a safety car as Quinn makes a huge mistake. Cuts the chicane. Gaggles has had a moment. He's back going, but the whole field's still pretty compressed and Pedro's round. Everyone is back going again, luckily, so we avoid another safety car. Oh, 2 cars round, Gaggles still going. So everyone will keep it green. Danbo's back up there after all of these issues that people are having. Pedro just trying to make it through the race. Man still stopped at the final chicane due to those issues, so he's going to need to try and get a move on or wait for a safety car. Chicken in the middle of no man's land. Gaggles at the very back. Pedro just in front of him as Quinn has made a mistake. I believe he's done a mirror image of a Rosberg there, and he's locking up the rear brakes more as Pedro gets overtaken by Gaggles. Pedro forcing Gaggles into the wall. That's not on from him. That's a really not on move if you're obviously a slower car. But watch Chicken. We see Danbo making a mistake there. Cutting the chicane. Just trying to gain on the race leader. Danbo with the fastest lap. Gaggles making it ahead of Pedro as Pedro hits him. Really not on from him today, from Pedro. Really just trying to shove people off by the look of it. Cause issues as much as he can, so. But we do see it here. Aspect crosses the line, gets a new fastest lap. He's left the majority of the field, and so is Danbo. The gaps are huge between the field. Anyway, as we continue on with the race, so far, mayhem ensues the opening laps. Several pileups on the first 2 laps, so. As we've had a huge mistake there from the race leader. I've completely blanked and missed it. Checking something unrelated. But so the Bulgarian of Danbo takes the lead. And James Quinn is in a position to try and overtake Captain Chicken. Doing a huge slide there. So we'll see. Will anything come from it? Through the chicane we go. Oh, Chicken spins through the chicane. He's going to lose 1, maybe 2 places here. But for now, just losing out. So a lot of mistakes being made from a lot of drivers. Aspect unable to get closer now as we see Chicken really at risk of losing another place. As he goes really wide through Larascas into Antoninoge. If he makes these mistakes in Formula E, then it could be dividend to the championship. Speaking of the championship in Formula E, the race that man in P2 is currently your Formula E championship leader. Meaning he needs to try and prove his point that he's not just good in Formula E, but good in all kinds of open wheel cars. As Luca, I believe it's Luca, has set the fastest lap of the race so far in the clean air that he's in. So here go the two race leaders. Aspect outbraking himself, causing Danbo to hit the wall. A bit of unsportsmanlike behaviour there, but I'm sure they'll be fine as there's a fight further back between Chicken and Mech. These two really need to try and keep it clean in order to stay with the front group, because most of the field is now split as Chicken makes a huge mistake there. And he makes another one, and Mech's going to get through on him. And he does through the final corner. He stays ahead. So this fight isn't done yet because Chicken is trying the move. Gets blocked out, just taps the wall. Loses the rear for good measure. And Mech's through by a few tenths. Back to the fight at the front. Then we have a very, very big fight as Chicken and Mech have collided. And that lets Gaggles through for 2 places. So that huge mistake there, I don't know what has happened. I saw a split in the timing towers, so those two have collided before we tapped to them, but it was close. Anyway, speaking of close, we have Aspect on the rear, the fuser of Danbo, pushing him through the chicane there, really pushing him through the chicane. I can't say anything else. He's trying a move. He's trying to do what Leclerc did. Unable to do that yet. As Mech gets back ahead of Chicken, and Chicken's down 2 places. So whether there's been a mistake or not, there's a huge hit into the wall for Pedro. He's now at the very back of the field after a huge shunt at the back of the shot. We tab back to the fight at the front. In this race, Danbo still leads from Aspect. 2 goats of row racing in the RFR server, leading the way, showing really how it's meant to be done between a veteran driver and a new fast driver, an up-and-coming fast driver. Danbo just showing what he's worth, showing how fast he can be when he needs to be. I feel when he gets a proper handle on the Formula E cars, he can thrust himself deep into the championship. And there's a small mistake there, and we see Aspect just catching. Oh, they touch! Danbo loses the rear because of it. Aspect knows that was a bit of a dirty move, so he's let them through. And Quinn has had a mistake. He's spun in Larascas. And that means Gaggles can catch. Mech, Chicken, and Associates still behind. As Danbo's trying to go Aspect's trying to go side by side with Danbo. Through into Casino. It's a switchback attempt. He has the inside line. Can Aspect pull it off? There is more contact. Danbo's forced wide as Aspect makes it through into the lead. The question is, can Aspect hold it now that he knows there is someone who can threaten him for the race lead? This really is a brilliant, almost over half race distance Monaco race. So, Can these two provide us an even more thrilling battle? We continue on, going fast and flat through this section here. What will we see? Will we see a mistake from one of them? Will we see attempted moves? Danbo taking a different line, and he hits the back of Aspect. All is fair in love and war, as they say, and I feel that these two are loving this war. So, who knows what could happen later on in this race. We're on lap 9 of 36. I'm sure we're some percentage through, and Chicken has made a mistake somewhere. So he is now falling down the field. The man who is still in the championship fight in Formula E, having fun in this, not having much fun in this fun race. So we'll see what could happen here. The top two, close as ever. Really enjoying this fight. Could we see a move into Massimo? No, we can't. Into the tunnel they go. Again, continuing this massive fight as Gaggles has got ahead of Quinn. Danbo and Aspect side by side into the chicane. Aspect's on the inside. Danbo just gives up the place. But Gaggles is ahead of Quinn. Whether Quinn lets it happen or not, he's still ahead. And because of it, Gaggles is back in the podium. Good to see from him. And the top two through the Raskas again as we enter lap 10. What can they do in this legacy level of fighting? Into turn 1. Keeping it clean. Aspect, I think, made a slight mistake. He's just trying to push a bit away as we're going to tab to a possible move further back from Chicken. We see him here trying to get ahead of Luca. It is Luca. I've just seen the name, but can confirm it's him. Unable to do anything at the moment. The gap at the front now over a second. So has Danbo made a mistake? Oh, and Luca's made a mistake, and Chicken's going to make it through. Up we go to Casino. Chicken has made it through. Danbo, I think, just backed off there through the hairpin. He's gaining now. Gaining. Gap's back down under a second, as we like to see. Really accurate timing tower here. Pedro 33 seconds behind the men in front. He could be at risk of being lapped here soon, and if that could happen, then it could bring in those from the back. Aspect missed the chicane. Danbo's going to make it through because Aspect missed the chicane. They're side by side into Anthony knows this doesn't normally end well. They managed to go too wide through the final corner at Monaco. You don't see it anywhere else. What a move to keep the lead of the race from Aspect. But Danbo is going to try launch an attack at him. You couldn't even see Danbo from that shot. They're that close. My oh my, this really could be the next Formula E season's championship fight from the get-go. These guys level on pace very clearly as we finally see Pedro start coming in the shots. I believe he spun through the hairpin. So Pedro will have to get out of the way soon. Not immediately, but soon. When he's deemed too dangerous to be ahead. But we do see the fight continuing. This blue flag could hinder the fight for Danbo as Aspect locks up through the chicane. He's going to gain slightly from this. And I think Danbo, it could be in a position to launch an attack. Gaggles is through. Quinn is through on Gaggles. That's not really where we're trying to focus our fight. We're trying to focus it on the lead two here. Closer and closer and closer. Danbo has the slipstream. Can he try and launch an attack into turn 1? The gap is growing. He's unable to at the moment. Pedro very shortly will be blue flagged, I feel. He will need to get out of the way of the race leaders. As he does so, keeping well out of the way. Be making contact with the wall in doing so, but he kept out of the way to let the leaders through at least. Which is a really good thing to see. Chicken at the end of the back of the pack, still fighting away with Luca, and there is a small bit of contact there between Aspect and Danbo. Danbo could be in a very good position to try and pull a move through the Nouvelle chicane. He's right there. He's ahead in the braking zone, and there's contact. Danbo and Aspect into the barriers. Pedro makes it through to unlap himself. He will be blue flagged again, though. Through to bat. He lets them through. Danbo is furious at that as we see Pedro making contact in the swimming pool chicane with the wall. Aspect lets him through. I think he knows that was a day late and $1 short, as Pedro is backwards as we've got more cars coming on him. He'll have to stay there. He's now got a clear bit of track ahead of him as Aspect's trying on Danbo into turn 1. They touch wheels. Danbo just trying to keep ahead. He has the inside line up the hill. Aspect gets through. Aspect has a huge wobble, rubs the barriers. Danbo is going to go round the outside through Casino. He's going to get through into the hairpin. He's made it to the lead again. There's been so many lead changes, I've lost count completely. And in the back of your shot, you can just see Quinn and Gaggles getting really close. So 2 close fights for the price of 1. As I stop to take a drink, Aspect could launch an attack into the chicane. Oh, and he hits the back of Danbo. They make contact again. The fight for the back. Quinn locking up through the chicane, just running a wheel wide. These three now within a second of each other. This can get dicey between these three. But we do see a moment between Danbo and Aspect. They've backed off greatly. So have those two created contact, and all of a sudden the lower three fighting for a podium are going to be thrust into this fight for the lead. Aspect gets through. Quinn is now watching the fight for the lead ahead of him. Can he join this fight is the question. Can these guys join the fight? Pedro comes into the pit lane, unsure as to why, despite being told not to. But Quinn is now joining the fight. So is Mech. So is Gaggles. They're all having to slow down greatly through the hairpin to avoid contact, but they're all getting ever so close now. We watch Aspect. We're going to watch Danbo. Through the tunnel they go. Neat and tidy conga line. Don't really see anything going on. People just taking the advantages they can through the swimming pool. So we see Aspect slowing quite a lot down there through the swimming pool. Not sure as to the reason why he has slowed, but he slowed down. So who knows why he did that? What we do know is he's slowly but surely getting closer. Nothing really here to say, just letting the sounds of it all catch up. Quinn now at risk. Danbo just trying to get through. Quinn's still defending from Gaggles, so unsure as to what can happen through here. As that was Pedro getting lapped. I thought I saw a car on the wall. Was Pedro just trying to get out the way safely. Danbo continuing on, attempting to keep in the lead here. with this lead so far almost halfway done. At the moment in time, all sorts of fights going around the track. The only person that isn't really involved in any fight is Pedro, who's been lapped, so we see a lot of people taking a very unique line through the swimming pool. This is probably because there's a lack of a corner cut there, therefore they don't need to slow down because of it. But Danbo makes a mistake through the chicane, making his car become airborne. As Chicken has had a moment through the chicane. Two cars having a moment through the Nouvelle chicane, I should say. Pedro's going to be lapped again. He would be 2 laps down in a moment. The reason he's had another lap down is due to the pit lane issue. As Danbo's had a moment, Danbo spun. Whether that was a fault of Aspect or a fault of his own, but he is spun by Casino Square and by proxy. He's lost 3 places. The Bulgarian has been beaten by the Flying Dutchman, and perhaps his outlandish pace has shocked him slightly. Danbo, the man who currently was able to really give Aspect a run for his money, has just been taken out of a possible contention. Chicken loses a position there to Luca. But huge scenes here on lap 17 of this fun race. And Aspect himself has had a problem, because Quinn is now right on the back of him, as we see Mech has spun. Gaggles taps the back of Quinn. Quinn, Gaggles, Aspect, Gaggles, Quinn. These 3 at the front end of the field trying to make it through into the lead, I guess. Quinn looking up through Casino. We never see moves through here. He gets it done. A dive on the inside. What an overtake. That is a move of a possible champion of the league. As we see one coming into the pit lane, unsure as to what the issue is there. But Luca has disconnected, which is probably why he's teleported to the pit lane. If he comes back out, then if he does, then we'll see. But that may be race over, as we see Aspect taking back the lead from Quinn. Quinn using the sneakier cut line. Oh, and there's a big crash. I think Quinn got into the wall as trying to overtake Aspect. And that has caused Gaggles to get involved. So everyone's now spaced up. Quinn slows down, I think, to let James through. But this only means that Danbo's now being rung into the fight again for the lead. So into turn 1 we go on lap 19. We're over halfway done now. Word is that Luca somehow found his way into the harbour, which is probably a reason to why he's DNF'd. So if he has made it into the harbour, I'd like to see a clip from that. As Aspect makes a mistake through the hairpin, Quinn has Gaggles around the outside of him. That's not going to be a move there for Gaggles, or is it? Quinn loses 1, and Gaggles makes it through into the lead of the race. What a move from him. So a car into the harbour during this fight. Mech could be brought back into the fight, if I can get the correct train of thought. This is really a crazy race. So Pedro is out as Quinn makes it to P2. Aspect cuts the chicane. He thinks that what Quinn did wasn't exactly the most legal, but it is what it is. These guys slowly bringing Luca into the fight again. Gaggles now with a bit more of a demanding lead. Still under a second though from Quinn. The man that is furthest away is Chicken, which is a bit unfortunate. After all, he's been involved in quite a few incidents this race. So he's just going to sit at the back and enjoy it as Gaggles has let everyone through. I think this is so he can at least enjoy this race a bit better, and it releases Quinn into the lead, but he has a huge moment there. And this has now brought Mech back into the fight. Quinn appeared to have drifted that corner there. Not really what you want to do. Any crash from these guys and it will likely result in a safety car. Mech slowly being brought into the fight. See Aspect just tapping the wall there. Yeah, definitely if there's any form of contact, it will likely end in a pile-up, and if there is a pile-up, that will mean a spontaneous pseudo-safety car. Oh, there's a touch. Aspect using the pit lane to try and get ahead. He chooses to back off of it. Seeing Quinn's defense job so far. Really entertaining fight so far. Lap 21 of 36. We are closer to a third way done with the event, so everybody really close in the top four as Quinn spins through the hairpin, and he's collected Danbo, who is two-wheeled. Quinn, I believe, trying to cause a safety car there because of that spin. He realized it was wrong. The inertia forces acting through. Quinn loses positions. Aspect takes the lead. Danbo back up into second. We watch Gaggles here. Quinn probably kicking himself with that mistake as I watch a replay on the smaller screen. But it is what it is. Mech trying to make a move on Gaggles. Two cars in the same livery. Gaggles loses it through Anthony Noge. And Quinn is going to be there. He hits him. Quinn gets through. Gaggles has a long minute to turn around with. We're just going to stick with this until he can get it around so we can ensure that he's not just going to absolutely disintegrate like the other cars have inexplicably destroyed themselves. But now the gaps are all over a second, so we're saved just a moment from fights. Anyway, 22 of 36 here at Monaco. Really quiet event. Now, a really quiet event. As we watch Danbo make a huge mistake and hit the wall. Anyway, we continue on with this event. So the whole field really spread apart here. Bit unfortunate that, as you see Pedro's backwards out of the pit lane. Not sure as to why he's sat there, but he's sat there. Not really much to speak upon due to all the gaps happening now. Bit of a shame. But we do see Danbo slowly catching up to Aspect here. He's been doing this over the lap, like I've said, it's been quieting down. must have heard me. As Danbo makes a move for the lead. They're side by side in 20 Noj. Danbo's through into the lead. Entering lap 24. And he's just solidified it for this lap. As we hear Pedro just trying to get it back into gear. Not enjoying this race at all. Most of the field now getting through on him. Chicken has caught up a bit due to all of this fighting going on. And in fact sets a new fastest lap of the race. So good for him so far, but not really the race he would have hoped for. He would have really hoped for fighting in the top group. Sometimes you have to wonder what goes through a driver's head. So we just tab to Pedro, having a moment. Oh no! Issues for Quinn. James Quinn suffers a wheel disconnection. We see him in the pit lane. He's gone. Quinn, if he rejoins, I believe would be sent to the back of the grid. James is out. Quinn is out of the fun race. Real shame there, but we do see Aspect now. Right on the diffuser of Danbo, who makes a big mistake through the chicane. Quinn there dropping to the back. Real shame. He was really in the fight for a possible podium here. Still, Danbo just keeping ahead. Now we can enjoy a small bit of calm. So again, two teammate coloured cars out of the race as Danbo gets spun in the hairpin by Aspect. As I was just commenting on DNF'd cars, that is not really a move you want to be seeing through there. And he lets someone through, not the right person though. So Mech gets the lead of the race as Aspect spins through the chicane and hits Danbo again. That's not, I don't know what's up with Aspect at the moment, but he's having a scruffy old time, and if we're not careful, we could get another safety car in this race, which is what I think Chicken is hoping for. I think if these two touch again, it would surely lead to a safety car. Speaking of Chicken, or someone, Pedro is still at the chicane. Don't know what he's doing down there. But Mech is leading the way now by a mile. Oh, Aspect spins! He's in the wall. Can he get it back round? Yes, he can. Gaggles is up a place. Real shame for Aspect. He's really losing it now. He's losing the ability, I think, because it's a fun race, he's losing it. We see Pedro in the chicane still, just causing a ruckus. And he's hit with Aspect. That's not on from him. That's really not on from someone who isn't even properly racing here. But the new fight for the podium is Danbo and Gaggles. This is the miles closest fight. Who knows what we could see here. I guarantee you if these two collide, we will probably have a safety car. As we're now under 10 laps to go. Danbo having a small snap of oversteer there. Danbo having a huge moment there, robbing the wall. Gaggles right on him here. Through the swimming pool we go. Is he able to make a move or not? Continuing to push. Everyone continuing to push. Aspect slowly gaining on the fight ahead though. Don't think it'll be enough, but it could be Mech. In a weird turn of events, mind you. Could be Mech winning the event here. Although it depends because Danbo and Gaggles are pushing like force. And I think Aspect has just cut the Nouvelle chicane there. Given the fact he's just gained about 2-3 seconds. I mean, Chicken, you can do that all you like, mate. I know you're just trying to gain, and it is a fun race after all, so I'm not going to be that harsh on forcing penalties. Just don't do it to overtake people. They do have that decency at least. We do see it here though, the top two getting closer and closer, the top three getting closer and closer to each other, so this would definitely be a fun race for the history books. I'm just staying quiet as we see Aspect now right on the back of Gaggles after cutting the chicane. He's only doing it so we can actually get an entertaining fight here. Chicken, feel free to do that as well. Oh, as Danbo makes a big mistake and Gaggles is through. The Ferrari colours 1 and 2 now. Danbo's going to try the move around the outside, not going to pay off, and he's tapped with Aspect. Aspect could try and make the move here. We watch with Danbo. They touch up the hill. Danbo's still on the inside. They touch again, wheel banging like crazy. How do they not touch through there is my question. Oh, there's the touch, and they're into each other, and Danbo's into the wall. He needs to get that round pretty quickly to try and stay on the fight. He's going to be using the chicane cut through. Chicken is going to get involved, just knocking Danbo the right way. Thank you, Chicken. So now Gaggles could be the nicer person. He spins, in fact. I was going to say, could be the nicer person and let Mech win. But he's made that mistake himself. Entering 5 to go here in the Monaco Fun Race. Gaggles pushing. The top 3 pushing together, closer and closer. Every lap they go, they're getting closer and closer. 5 to go, as I'd said just before. There is all sorts that can go wrong in this last couple of laps. Chicken, Danbo has slowed greatly down. I think he's had a mistake. Chicken just further back. And if these guys crash, then it will spell disaster as we watch Aspect into the chicane. Trying to line up the move, doesn't get it done yet. Oh, Aspect goes through the chicane blatantly there. He's going to have to give that gap. Oh, and he's crashed into the leader. And we've got a pseudo safety car essentially there for a second. Those guys slowing right down. And in effect, it means Danbo can slowly catch. 4 to go. Big cuts for turn 1 for 2 people there. Danbo slowly caning to this. If there's another moment like that later on in this event, then Danbo will be able to catch right up. But we do see Aspect under threat from Gaggles as we go through the hairpin again. Only a few more times they can do that. Only a few more times they can risk a move there, even in this race. Anyone at the moment is in a position to win this fun race. To become the first fun race winners. Who knows, if there's well reception, we could get this as its own standalone league in this server. They are nose to tail to nose to tail, nose to tail. They all touch. Oh, there's another crash. They all back out of it. Now Danbo's arrived on the scene. The 5 of them are close as we enter 3 to go. There's Chicken trying on Gaggles, not making it through. The beautiful, loud-sounding engines of these cars around the streets of Monte Carlo, mirroring the race we had on the weekend, albeit a lot more exciting. Oh, down the inside! Aspect risks the move. He forces the other driver into the wall. And he gets spun, and they're all into each other. They're 3 wide, they're 4 wide for a second. Aspect loses places with Chicken. Gaggles into the lead. Followed by Mech, then Danbo, then Aspect. Oh, Aspect cuts the chicane. He's going to have to give those places back, without a doubt, if he has any common sense. All being a fun race and all, but don't do stupid stuff like that. He does give the places back, and he's hit by Chicken, and he's into the wall big. Aspect, huge hit into the wall. Danbo losing the rear. Gaggles is escaping all of this while all of this fighting is going on. Aspect is back going again after that big collision into the wall. Chicken losing it as well. Mech still pushing to keep Danbo behind. Gaggles is in the prime position to lead this. They all come through here for the second to last time. These guys closer than ever. I think Chicken's had a moment on the straight. He has. So he's going to drop behind Aspect. Gaggles still leads the way. Danbo knows he's got a lap and a half left, really. A lap and a half left. 2 overtake here to hopefully gain a small bit back on the race leader, who's now miles down the road. He's 3 seconds off. Chicken taking it leisurely, and Danbo locks it, gets it all crossed. Chicken has stopped. Chicken, keep going or go back to the pits, please. Thank you. Gaggles cuts the chicane slightly. Aspect is now right on the back of Danbo and Mech. Gaggles slows down. He could make it a 4-way fight. The last 4 really in the race to win. Into the last lap. Danbo trying to get through on Mech. Mech blocks all possible lines. Oh, and Danbo crashes. Danbo loses it on the last lap. He's out of contention for the podium places. And if they're all smart, they could cut the chicane here to try and keep ahead. Pay that huge risk for a huge reward. Chicken just sat in the pit lane, and Gaggles has spun. Gaggles loses it. No one wants to lead the race. Gaggles has stopped there. I think he's done for the day. Mech has a huge hit with Aspect there. And this could put Danbo in a prime position to win. Danbo is taken out by Aspect on the last lap. Of course, this being a fun race, I fully expected this to go badly. Mech into the wall. And despite everything, despite him being knocked out to last several times, Chicken ran out of fuel, is what we're hearing. Same with Gaggles. Aspect wins the fun race. Gaggles out of fuel, Chicken out of fuel on the last laps. Mech in P2 and Danbo to 3rd. That is the fun race here at Monaco over. It ended exactly how I thought it would end. 4 official DNFs, but I'm sure Gaggles and Chicken will be counted in. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Monaco Fun Race. We'll see you all